You are listening to Readers and Writers with your host, James Hill and Athena Paris of RockHill Publishing. I'm Amy Ravichandran, and this week we're talking about junior season. So who wants to tell me what they mean by junior season? Because I have no idea.
All right, I'll go because I came up with the idea.
Perfect. Okay, all right.
This is our third season of the podcast. So if you go by high school, it's, you're freshman, you're a sophomore. So this is our junior season. We're now we're now well into the podcasting world. And we was a little delayed this year because we did a couple of books that we were publishing and getting out this year. So our junior season kind of got slid to the back a little bit. So, but we're still at it. We're still working on it. And part of the idea as we were doing these and we're developing them, we're coming up with the idea, all right, so how do we want this whole podcasting thing? What kind of branding, as you would probably say, Amy, what kind of branding are we trying to do here?
Yeah.
And so we come up with the idea of, do we want to be topic driven or do we want to be theme driven?
Oh, okay.
And what's the difference between, and this goes to both the writers and readers, what's the difference between something that's topic driven or theme driven? And so here we are, third season, and we're trying to decide, who are we? What do you think, Athena? Did I sum it up pretty good?
Yeah, kind of. Well, this topic kind of threw me a little bit as well, because, I mean, it is junior season. We don't quite have the same type of breakup at our schools. We don't have junior book reading
from
lists.
South Africa, so she has a completely different.
So do you just have like
system than we have? Like
elementary and junior high and high?
We call our schooling system primary school until 7th grade, and then from 8th grade to 12 is high school. That's it.
Oh, okay. I could get down with that system. Okay.
So there's two types of school: primary schools and secondary schools. So that's how they call it. In a way, it's interesting, but I have seen some things that could be, because I have taught before, so I have seen some things that should be changed about that system.
Yeah.
I don't quite like that a 14-year-old is in the same school with 18 and 19-year-olds. I find that a bit problematic. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're veering off the topic here now. So when we write, we use sometimes topics and themes as well. So a topic is how you tell the story, but the theme is the kernel of your story. So, for example, you're writing a book about people stealing, whatever. So that's your topic. But the theme of the story will be stealing is wrong. So that's the theme of your story.
And how you're telling the story.
Yes. So the topic is how you're telling the story about these people who steal all kinds of things. But the theme of your story is you're trying to show that stealing is wrong. So that's the theme. So that is where we come in with topics and themes, and how you pick the themes and topics for especially young readers. So are you trying to teach a moral, or you just trying to tell a story? Sometimes you can do both. You can tell a very good story without preaching to anyone and sneak in the themes that we wish people to be aware of and learn. We all be truthful, don't steal, all those kind of things that you want young people to learn. So in your storytelling, you can be encouraging them to practice all the good ethical, moral things to do without sounding like the preacher on a pulpit.
I think every story really has a theme to it. As a writer, we're always trying to get a message across. you know?
Yeah.
And so no matter how old your audience might be, you're always you always have a message that you want to impart to people. Your belief
Yes.
system, your truths or whatever, you know.
Yes.
So there's always a theme behind the story. And how strongly you bring out that theme depends upon who you're speaking to, who you're writing to. Like when you're writing to a younger audience, you're trying to make the theme more important or stand out a bit more than if you're writing to an older audience. Because you're writing to an older audience, they already know, stealing is bad. There's no way about it. If you're a crook, you're a crook, But as when you write to an older audience, you might want to bring out maybe a secondary theme like friendship or, some sort of other morals that you might have put in. So even though they're crooks and because I write the Killer series, which is about crooks and criminals, there's underlying themes to that. So yeah, that these people are bad in the thing they do, but there's also a theme about relationships and loyalty and things like that. And so those are the themes that you're trying to push to the forefront more than the idea that, oh, these people are just bad people, So there's sometimes it depends on your audience age too, as to what theme you're trying to push. And that might be something that's a little bit more subtle, but as the story goes on, you kind of see that coming through as the actual theme of the story, rather than just the good and bad of the situation that you're.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense. I can always kind of see that because it always is like, if you have like a psychological thriller or like murder mystery, there's always like, some form of like abuse, but then it's like the overcoming of it and, power from relationships and support systems and things like that, besides just murdering people, which is my thing. But
yeah, when you think about theme, it's something that can be understood by everybody straight away. So it's a universal idea, the theme. The theme is always a universal idea because stealing is wrong. But the topic of your book is going to be specific to that book because you picked it and you're writing about it the way you want.
Right.
Whatever
like the topic could be bank robbery, so they're robbing a bank, and then you say, well, the bank is really with the bad system. They were taking advantage of the people.
right.
So somebody come in and they're taking advantage of the bank. So that's the topic. The topic becomes bank robbery, or but
the
all
idea of
still,
stealing,
you're still saying that these people are still thieves, and they're stealing. Both sides are stealing from the people, so both sides are bad as you look at them.
Yeah.
The bank is bad for stealing from the people. The people are bad from the people in the story are bad because they're robbing the bank.
Yeah. Well, so when you go into writing, like you have an idea of this book and you want to write it, what happens first, the theme or the topic?
Yeah.
I'd say the theme always happens first, at least for me. I always come up with that one idea, that cross the board blanket idea. This is what the book is going to be about. Then you build a topic around that. How am I going to tell this story? What situations are we going to use to tell this story? So for me, it always comes down to what's the theme? What am I trying to say? And then how, because you could tell the same theme in several different stories in several different ways. So, it's all about how do you choose the topics that you want to cover? Like I was saying about the bank robbery. All right. So you want to say, there's corruption and, big business is corrupt and this and that type of deal, So do I tell it as a bank robbery story where I have people rob the bank? Or I tell it as a murder story where I have somebody, kill the head of the corporation or something like that. So it depends on the type of story you want to tell as to what topics you're going to pick. But the theme is still the idea that they're stealing from the people, you know. So this corporation is stealing from the people, and we go after the guy who's head of the corporation and we kill him, or the guy who's head of the corporation kills somebody. Now we go after them and, you know, figure out who it is, mystery type thing. So the topics will change depending upon the type of story you want to tell, what genre you're writing in, and that kind of thing.
That makes sense. I could see that. So it all starts with an idea, which feeds to a theme, and then you narrowed it down into the topic, right?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Okay.
That is how it is. So the story can be amazing. I mean, all kinds of things happening, but when you look deeply into it, see, are they talking about friendship, you know, honesty, you know, all kinds of things, all the good things that we teach our kids and makes us decent human beings, you know. Gossiping can be about gossiping. I mean, I'm sure there's a few things on TV where, especially when you get girls together, not that boys can't gossip, they can gossip just as much, but how gossiping can be detrimental to people's lives, you know, whether you're gossiping the truth, because you can gossip the truth and you can gossip lies. The lie, and the one is worse than the other, obviously, but they're still both bad, because you can gossip the truth and the truth could be something that is not supposed to be shared with everybody.
Right.
And so you try to teach people that we mind our own business. Only when people are in danger, we're supposed to speak up and those kind of things. And kids need to learn the difference between things. When do you speak up and when do you say nothing, you know?
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, it all starts with an idea. Is what it all starts with. That's every writer starts with an idea, which next week we're talking about, is it just an idea or does it have the potential to become a series? Are you afraid that the idea that you have is just a one and done kind of book, or maybe have you crammed too much into one book and now you have this, like, you know, slap your mama, it's going to hurt book and you need to break it down? What all kind of things fall into that? So next week on Readers and Writers, we're going to be talking, is it just an idea or does it have series potential? So until then, everybody, bye for now.